then the person would say, yes, I want to have a good life. So if I present the same opportunity to you, John Kinnifer, why should you not also have access to a good life? So,
I mean, can you imagine? It's so ridiculous to think like everybody's not, like no one is free until everyone is free. That is like that's technically the big logical error that a lot of these Democrat liberals are making. Um, but a lot of it is really like we have been so conditioned to when we see illegal aliens getting locked up, by ICE. It's like the world is falling. It's like no, they shouldn't have been here to begin with. It's illegal. You go to other countries, this shit doesn't happen. Why does it happen here? It's because we're so conditioned that it's okay and acceptable. It's unacceptable. You're breaking the law. So it's like, that's what people voted for. I mean, to enforce the law. I mean, the whole ICE thing to me is I see it on the media now all the time. Like they're arresting all these illegals and people are like panicked, like and they're fighting back. Not gonna happen in our streets. It's like, oh really? Well, they're not your streets. They're our streets. They're the American streets, and you can't, willy nilly say, oh, you can't. So, anyways, yeah. But I don't know. The whole thing is like a gaslight. It's like, my friend, live in peace. Always live in peace, but obey the law. The joy of life in a way is law. God is law. God is war. God is you. God is now. Um, the law is that one thing that people love to try to deny exists. October 7th, basically. Oh, you violated the law. You killed us, and now we're gonna kill you as we seek justice. So it's like that's the one word you never hear these Free Pally people bring up is the law. What does the law say? Was the law violated? And then there's two laws. There's the commercial law or our law, social law, and then there's the military law. So military law is like its own little baked-in society that all these complainers are not a part of, but yet will always exist. Like the UCMJ and international law with regards to war. Like these are topics that no one has ever gone into on these stupid apps, and it gives the justification for war. So, fuck you. Like you're annoying, and you're just political. The whole thing. I'm telling you, 99% of communication is political, and especially in the West, we are so hyper polarized and political. It's like our philosophy. It's insane. Stupid.
I agree. All right, I'm going to get in the shower. I'll be back.
Let's read Tanya for like 5 minutes. What do you think, Ana? We're live.
I want to ask ChatGPT why homeless people don't just go home.
Don't stop believing. Never give a better. Is it here yet?
Bobadilla.
Bobadilla.
Bobadilla. Yo, Dave.
Bobadilla.
Everybody but Bobadilla. Answer that.
Bobadilla's sleeping.
I don't know, I don't hear him snoring.
Austin, is this the room you hang out in now?
These are my best friends.
I've been exiled from the Bitcoin community.
What did you do?
I told, me and Jimmy got into it. I call him a stay-at-home dad, and I don't take financial advice from Paw Patrol.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong with being a stay-at-home dad?
Nothing. He just told me how he's doing, I do nothing with my life, and he's so successful. And he's so rich. And I said, your wife makes some money. You're a stay-at-home dad.
Isn't it a group effort?
You got banned for calling him pathetic?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were calling him awesome.
I know, that's what I was saying.
It's not a bad deal. And, I said if I needed advice on, what baby wipes to use, then I'd ask him, but I'm not going to take his advice on finance,
Does he do any finance?
He does everything.
He's a Bitcoin trader.
Do you offer anything on baby wipes?
No. It's a decentralized room, but apparently. But you have to suck dick to the cult leaders.
Everybody loves me everywhere I go.
They love you here, Austin?
You mean you didn't suck the Bitcoin room's dick hard enough?
Correct.
Yeah, did you? I mean, it's delicious. Why wouldn't you?
Austin, are you accepted in this community?
I'm accepted in all communities. Everybody in here loves me. I'm their best friend. Well, I hug Tua.
Wait, who's Austin?
Yeah, what community is this exactly?
I have no idea.
My whole life was a culmination of downloading an app called Clownhouse to sit in a Bitcoin room all day long and say nothing.
I'm only here to get Vera's coke dealer's number.
I'm right here. It's the car lot. How much you need? I'm in Chicago. Fuck me. Get it back.
His name is Will. We call him White Girl Will.
Oh, you're a white boy.
Wonder why your drugs are terrible.
That's that, man.
Yeah, I don't serve white people. My bad.
White people.
Is there such a thing as a white person? Because when I look at my skin, it looks caramel.
Are you pink? He's pink. He's a
I'm
man.
sure it's black 150 years.
I got like a cinnamon tinge to me.
So do you really think that all people are black people?
Black people.
When I close my eyes, they are.
That's right.
There you go.
Except for Jimmy. Jimmy is Jewish.
Who's Jimmy?
Exactly.
Ruben.
John's Jewish.
I'm not Jewish. My father is Jewish and my mother is gorgeous.
Jewish people.
Clownhouse people.
Hot pockets.
How long do we have to wait?
Knows this.
How long do we have to wait before we make flamethrower jokes again?
What's a flamethrower joke?
I think he's talking about the LGBT, whatever, plus community.
No. Really? Jewish community. We can make jokes about Nagasaki, right? Like, it's the best place to have a sake bomb. It's been long
Love a
enough.
sake bomb. We love a good sake bomb.
There's nothing better than a sake bomb in Nagasaki.
It's 9:43 a.m.
So, Chris, are you just gonna accept your exile, or are you gonna riot? What are you gonna do?
I'd accept it.
I'm gonna dance.
Dance.
I don't know if I really care. Like, it's kind of a dumb room, for the most
You
part.
can't actually be exiled from stupid Clownhouse room, FYI.
Why's that?
Because you can just get a new burner account and just go in there and live stream them on YouTube for years.
Holy shit, that sounds like a lot of work. Nah, it's not really. Hey, are you a drug dealer? That's something a drug dealer would think about.
They smoke
No,
cannabis,
John
but
is just. John is just.
Can't buy.
Why not?
Can't buy.
see, live
Hi.
streaming the Bitcoin room is amazing. There's only like 3 rooms on Clown House that perpetually go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and the Bitcoin room is one of them. That shows you
Yikes.
that it's pathetic, beyond pathetic. It's the same as chillism, the same as prove to me God exists. It's the same stupid room of people just wasting their
You're
attention.
literally talking about all my friends.
I know.
Aw.
Isn't it even more? Isn't it even sadder to like be the guy recording all of that?
No, I think it's actually a way to inverse what they're doing and make it somewhat more commercially viable.
That way, so you think it's sad people are wasting their time, and yet you think it's content worthy?
Yeah, it's essentially perpetual content. It's like you're using people's existence in a meaningful way, and they're using it in a meaningless way.
Well, dude, I come on here because I'm a broken and tormented, lonely soul. Yeah.
Well, maybe you should try reading a book and going to the gym.
And I'm a 36-year-old man, never married, no kids. I'm on monk mode, and I have 27 Dodge coins averaging at 6 cents. I'm still waiting to have the sex.
Hi, Dr. James. What are you doing in Deutschland or wherever you live?
Yeah, like, how's your streaming business going?
It's picking up. I've got 5,000 subscribers now, and I'm monetized. So, you know, God bless the Bitcoin room for helping me get monetized.
God bless.
Now, are you talking over the rooms, like criticizing, or like are you literally just streaming the?
I don't even say anything. I just sit there and I put 3 phones up to the one phone, and then I put a clicker on so it doesn't go into sleep mode, and then I just live stream the room all day long, and then I reset it every morning.
Club deck?
No, I just do it phone to phone. I've got like a bunch of phones here. I recorded different rooms in my house, different clown house rooms.
Send me the link to the channel. I want to see. Did you record yesterday, or do you record every day, or what?
It's every single day for years and years.
I have Simon on record being the most boring person I've ever heard in my life. Simon, congratulations.
Ruben, do you have the link in the chat?
No, what are we talking about?
John wastes his time complaining about how people waste their time. And
Chris wants audio evidence of you and Jimmy making love on stage.
Everything Simon is saying is true. I waste my time recording other people wasting their time.
I don't believe you.
I would even think that it's even sadder for you to recognize that people are wasting their time, so you're gonna waste your own time by recording people wasting their time.
Wait, what if I like recorded this and streamed it? Would that be
That would also be sadder, yeah.
right? Because I'm wasting my time recording people talking about wasting their time.
That's, you're getting it now, you see? You're getting it.
I feel like we just described the entire internet.
Welcome back, silly kids.
I know exactly.
What's today? What's Thursday? Thursday, okay.
Doesn't matter, it's a waste of time.
That's true. There we go. Like that attitude.
Full circle. Look at that. I'm a new man. Want some Adderall?
I wish.
Fuck the shit out of that bagel. Oh.
You fucked the shit out of a bagel.
And a bagel's life is it while they're making it, while it's being cooked? No, it's while I'm fucking, it's when I'm cooking inside the whole thing.
Oh my god.
That's a happy place for a bagel, interesting.
Happy fucking place, dude.
Dude, I've let so many bagels down.
Fresh out the microwave, dude. Get it nice and doughy for daddy.
my god, bro. You're disgusting.
You know, I support you. Really good. I support you. You should treat your bagels. Get them to their happy place.
We're not finishing here.
At the fucking, working at the bagel place, dude. They filmed it for me and everything, dude. They don't slut shit out here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Can I have one of those bloody bagels?
Did you go to the Larry?
Yeah, I got two left. You don't think the other two don't? I'm gonna see them later.
Give me a slutty bagel with vegetable cream cheese.
With extra trees.
Have you been to Larry King's bagel store?
I go to Larry King's fucking house for bagels. I don't need to go to that.
He's dead now, but
Yes.
he's got a bagel shop on Rodeo Drive. It's called New York Salt and Bagels or something.
It's actually rodeo, so you're not pronouncing it correctly.
Rodeo.
Rodeo.
That's true.
Rodeo Drive, mate. Come on, man. Dude. Down here on Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, it's usually just called yeehaw.
Oh, Sarah wants to say something. Oh, Scott is here. Hi, Scott.
Oh, man. Nothing to tell you.
Scott, I'm in
Coming in hot.
I'm in the Bitcoin exile room.
Even enough.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh.
We're not exiles, we're refugees.
My content creation lately.
I think your content creation is great.
Workers here.
I'll leave that room for you. I think you're doing great work, dude. Great work.
Is creating some excellent content very expeditiously.
It's too bad you don't have like a PhD.
I just have a master. I'm ABD.
Yeah, dude.
I can finish my dissertation if I want to.
Let me ask you this. If you had to summarize the word communication, give me some definitions, what would your definitions be?
I don't know. I'm not good at summarizing basic words like that.
Well, I could give you my 5 fundamental principles about conversations or communication, and they are projection, spam, politics, comedy, and magic. Those would be my 5 primary definitions. Maybe hypnosis you could throw in there as a 6th, but what I'm trying to get at is that most people are completely unaware of what they're doing while they're chirping like a bird. Like James down there, that pot smoking, Denmarkian, he's always political. And so,
Dr. James?
no, James down in the audience in Rotterdam, the loudmouth, pot smoking, angry screamer who has no friends in the real world. He says he's like a hermit because he's such an angry human being. No one
My
can.
favorite thing you've ever said was, "There's Brett, Clubhouse hero, real life zero."
I didn't create that, but I heard that when I was in college. Somebody said, "Oh wow," because I went to the Citadel. Somebody was like, "Ooh, Citadel hero, real world zero." I was like, "Oh shit, that's so true. Like you're a hero here, but in the real world, you're pathetic, dude." And even on here, that guy, what was his name you just said? Brent. Oh, he really is
He's
pathetic.
the worst. I can't stand that.
He is pathetic. I don't know. Why do you think why does he just seem so frail? You know what I'm saying?
He's a partisan hack. He's someone that you couldn't. There's nothing he says that you couldn't hear on MSNBC. It's so annoying, and he's annoying about it. I can't stand that fucking guy.
Yeah. It's a lot of it is the way you communicate. It's basically public speaking. I mean, some people are more dazzling public speakers. You're a great public speaker. You've got it down. There was something I noticed that you did the other day that I was like, it's too much. I was on the radio once and the guy was like, "John, you're at a 10, man. You got to take it to a 2." And I'm like, I don't understand. Don't people want to hear a 10 on the radio? Maximum dopamine. Let me be me. I'm not going to tone it down. But I think actually, if you do tone it down, you're much more presentable and you'll win the election. The nice guy always wins. It is how you make them feel. So high value information and less is more. People go on and on and on. But my friend is back. We may read from the Tanya. Do you have 10 minutes for Toira?
No, I gotta get a shower, but I gotta go run some errands today in Philadelphia, buddy. I worked out I used your line on my buddy the other day. He called me to talk about his Substack. I said, I have one question for you, bro. Do you even lift?
Yeah. My friend here lifted weights today.
Bro, I did like 160 push-ups this morning.
Really?
Punctually, I do like 20, then I jump rope for a minute, and then 20, and jump rope.
Dude, that's a joke, man. That's great work, dude.
And then I did like 15 minutes of high intensity interval training, then did 10 minutes of yoga.
Scott, you are a Clown House Phoenix. A Clown House hero and a real world superhero, Scotty.
I'm the real world Spider-Man, but the difference is I shoot my webs with my taint.
Yeah, I was thinking about your taint because I was reading in the Tanya and it was talking about the taint list. And the taint of you know, not an infection, but it's basically it's ruined. That's what
Have you ever heard that all money is tainted?
Yeah.
Taint yours.
Died, yeah.
And it taint mine.
I could try to find in the Tanya where it said the word taint. Because I was thinking about you, Scott, when it was talking about the taint. I was like, ooh, I gotta tell Scott this because this reframes the word taint from an erogenous zone.
I watched the treadmill workout, buddy. I gotta change my workout though. I think right now I'm doing a lot of high intensity interval stuff with light dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I've got to do is up the weight and cut down a little of the cardio. I want to put on more lean muscle. And I think I've got to adjust my workouts a little bit.
Yeah. I do pretty much the same thing every time I go to the gym. So, I feel like consistency is even more important than variation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've lost about 40 pounds over the past 6 months.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I've done it it's all.
Damn!
I work out every day.
Can you go to the gym and lift up two 20-pound dumbbells and be like, how the fuck was I carrying this much weight around with me every day?
That's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I feel great. I mean, I've got about 20 more to go. I mean, if I get 20 more, I'll be like, I'm in good shape. I look good right now. I mean, I like my, I look alright right now, but at 20 pounds, I'll be in athletic shape.
20 pounds is...
Scott, you know what you need to do?
I need to tickle my taint. That's what I need to do.
Scott, you need to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I hear great things about Brazilian.
Scott, can you dox yourself right now? Can you just tell me the name of your town?
Yeah, sure. I'm in the birthplace of the country, man.
Washington, D.C.? Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is the birthplace of the country.
I know, I corrected myself. Philadelphia, okay. Hang on. Let me ask you, wait a minute. I'm going to go on mute for a second.
Don't you have 10 minutes for Toira? You got 10 minutes for errands. Can you imagine going to the grocery store, doing all your shit, Scott, but still not having 10 minutes for Toira? Oh, look at Dr. Jasmine Love, a room full of predators. Takes one to know one, apparently.
There's so many fucking douches in this. Did you like that podcast I did there with that guy, Thane?
Yeah, that was really good.
That book is incredible. I mean, that book is irrefutable. That book is so well written. He wrote it quickly too. But that book is so good on just war in Israel. It's amazing. It's not long. It's like 220 pages. But I love Thane. That guy's just a rock star. We're gonna hang out. He's in Brooklyn, so I'm gonna go up and hang out. He's a great guy, man. He's a free speech advocate, super smart. You know the guy's written 3 novels?
What?
Yeah, he's a super intellect, man. I love that guy. Very fun, too. He's very, he and I have good banter. It's cool.
This doctor's here.
Alright, buddy, I'm gonna go get in the shower. I'll let you up later.
Alright, anyway, I was gonna find a jujitsu place for him, but I couldn't find one.
Jujitsu, that's another word for Israel. What do you think the jutsu mean? What does jutsu mean? Anyways.
No, I was literally talking the whole time and I didn't realize my microphone was in the up position, which is mute. And I thought I was talking to you the whole time and you were just ignoring me.
Isn't that funny how, we can get angry, but it's a you problem?
It's a me problem. Yeah, you're stupid. You're stupid, Brian. But no, did you hear me asking about the, 3 soldiers dying today? Yeah, no, maybe.
What was that? Sorry, I had to get some ice. I'm icing my foot down.
I said, did you hear about the 3 U.S. soldiers that got killed in Jordan today?
Really? Oh no.
Iran killed them. And, everybody in D right now is fucking up in arms.
Ooh.
I got a call from my brother. And he's not actually my family, I just know my brother. But, he was like, yo, check this shit out. That's why I put the link in to, this, publicly, acknowledgement of what's going on. That's the link in the chat in the room. Is to a little, YouTube short. And it kind of gives you, the cliff notes of what went down. They're calling for fucking blood in the water, kind of fucking shark attack. Dude, Iran fucked around and fucked around. Dude, you got Democrats asking for fucking, people's necks. Hopefully they do, a good war, because they're part of the war machine, too. This motherfucker don't even know how to ride a motorcycle. Yo, shit misfire like a bitch.
It killed
They
two.
don't bring her back to the house.
That killed 2 women. It killed 2 women and 1 man. Can you believe that? Why were they housed in the same facility?
Because they were only stationed together?
I know, but men and women don't share the same quarters. I don't understand.
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah,
That motorcycle sounds like shit.
apparently they do.
Yeah, no shit. I've slept in quarters with women,
Well, so
female
have I.
soldiers.
So have I.
I mean, female soldiers. I'm not talking like I mean on like a battlefield.
Yeah. Battle. James has been here for quite a while. Yesterday he was bitching about me saying I'm a loser and that no one comes into my rooms. And that, so I was thinking, I'm like, but he comes into my
Dude,
rooms.
I get kicked out of everybody's rooms. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know.
I
James
never even know.
is an angry, salty old man.
It's James.
You don't know James here? You don't know world famous James? The pot smoking, screaming, raving madman known as James? James, you want to
Doesn't ring a bell.
you want to come up and say anything?
On top of my head. Dude, my dad.
Is he even in the fucking room?
Like James is like a main name in my family, so I would remember somebody named James.
I don't know. He's probably asleep.
Like my brother's named JD. My granddad was named JD. James David. And my uncle JF is James Fitzy. James is a real name that would stick in my head if I ever saw somebody that talked dumb shit. I don't know that person, and I can say that with complete affirmation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, man, I think we're about to go to fucking at least a little bit of small scale war.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Iran gets attacked.
They just not yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? They just refused Trump's nuclear deal officially. So, and then 2 days later, you've got them killing U.S. soldiers. We're not gonna really stand for that kind of dumb shit. Not on my street. I hope you know that if I ever made it up to Chicago and I was with you and we were in a situation and somebody starts talking bullshit, I might get my ass whooped, but I'm sure as hell getting in a fight.
Yeah, I know. That could be one of the reasons maybe why I wouldn't want to, get in a fight with you. Because, I mean, listen, I've known a lot of people. I like the peacemakers, not the people who fight. I'd rather walk away from a fight than engage in, a death combat with some random person in the street who's been drinking.
Well, dude, I'm not talking about you got me triggered because of words or anything. I'll walk away from words. But if I see you, physically accosting somebody or you're trying to physically accost me, I don't play games.
One time,
That's all I'm referring to.
my friend who was a Marine in Los Angeles, I bought him an RV. He was homeless. And I went to go hang out in his RV on a Friday night, smoke some weed with him before I went out for the night. And there was somebody outside smashing all the car windows. So we get out of the RV and this crazy person with a 2x4 is running at us and screaming all kinds of nonsense. And he gets right up to us and he's shocked to see a white guy and a black guy standing there. And his eyes open up and my friend is like, "Now, mister, we don't want no trouble. We just having a good night. I hope everything is going all right. I know you in some problems and just relax and we're not going to fight you. We're your friend and everything's going to be okay." And the guy was he immediately dropped his guard and relaxed.
Well, hey John. I would have just shot him in the kneecap and said, "Bitch, you gonna fucking break my window?"
What up, Yakov?
John, can I ask you a question about the title?
Yeah.
I've seen this for a couple days, but isn't the election like a year from now, or 2 years from now, or something?
No, the primary is in March of next year, so we start collecting signatures in August.
Okay. Is this the district that the other guy in Clubhouse ran for?
Mark Rice?
Yeah, which district did he run for?
I don't know. I think it's 15. And he's running for it again. Yeah, I think it's 15.
Oh, really? Yes. Oh.
Yeah, he's running again. He's doing good, photo ops, great activities.
So do you have a campaign website?
No, not yet.
Are you trolling for donations on Clubhouse?
No, not yet.
Yeah, you're such a troll. Dude, you're such a troll, John. You're such a troll.
Troll isn't like trolling, like you.
No, actually, he actually got the Clubhouse Award for 2022. No, 2021 Clubhouse Award for #1 troll.
No, I meant trolling is scooping up donations. Like put out a big net and all the fish are into it. Like a real kind of troll.
I will be. It's on my to-do list. I got a list of things I got to work on. But right now, I'm icing my foot down from having a gout flare-up.
Oh, you take? There's a medicine I take when I get gout flare-up that
Works,
gout flare-up.
yeah.
Coltracine.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But the other one too.
And I take allopurinol every.
Allopurinol,
Are you see a
yeah.
rheumatologist for it?
No, I'm not seeing anybody.
You should. Like, gout.
I drink beer and run.
It's I have it. I had flare-ups. I went to a rheumatologist. She put me on allopurinol once a day. I take it. No, I've been flare-up-free for 4 years, and if it does flare up, did once. Then she increased the allopurinol. You take this medicine called coltracine, knocks it right bang, done.
Yeah.
Kicks it off. No red joints.
My problem is I've been eating and drinking like a pig.
He probably needs somebody like you to teach him that.
I've been eating and drinking like a pig over the past couple weeks, so that's what it is.
But John, seriously, it's such a treatable.
I get it, but you know what's really treatable is not eating and drinking like a pig. You know, that's my problem.
I think isn't it autoimmune? I don't think it's.
No, dude, it's definitely tied to your uric acid. It's all the alcohol. It turns your blood into fucking sugar.
Yeah, but that question is like.
But you gotta go see a nephrologist because it has to do with like your glomeralis and your nephrons are not filtering out the uric acid because blood urea nitrogen your blood should be thrown into your urine through the kidneys, but if your kidneys aren't doing it right, you get a BUN buildup. And then the BUN is like blood urea. It's like, and then you get, well, no, I mean,
I've been all over this, Doug.
You're telling me it has nothing to do with the kidneys.
No, what I'm saying is the rheumatologist will help you manage lung and I get uric acid tests like once a quarter, and if you go to a hematologist, which I've been to, they'll say you have to see a rheumatologist. You're right, it does all of that stuff, but the person to help manage that is the rheumatologist. Do it however you want to do it.
I'm just, never mind.
Like I've lived with this for 10 years, so it's
very nice. Run a blood lab.
okay.
So, Yakov, we kind of.
Fly over my house. I love it.
Yakov, we kind of had a funny moment here earlier where Doc was, muted, and he was talking for, I don't know, maybe a minute or two, and then he started getting really angry because he thought I was ignoring him, but then he finally unmuted, and he was like, I was muted, and I said, so.
How could you tell he was angry when he was muted?
Because he said he came back. But that's kind of like life, where it's like if you're getting angry, it is a you problem.
Yeah. It's not a listening problem. It's a you talking problem. Why do you have this guy?
That was the scenario. Why not? Who cares?
Yeah, Yakov, aren't you a little? I mean, what are you concerned about? Like, is it
Nothing. I don't know. The thought of me forever on the internet
this is a.
That boat has already sailed, my guy.
But
Oh,
this.
I know. It's just like it will live for centuries.
So what? So what? What do you?
Who gives a crap?
What do you think people have been doing? 100 years, people have been just creating records.
You ask me why. I'm telling you, there's certain things that just explode my brain, like
Yeah.
irrationally. It's a what do you call it when it's non-linear, you know?
Dude, that's a bit fucking 810.
I love the sound of those when the gun goes off, man. That's a plane built around a gun, literally built around a Gatling gun.
The gal, I know the gal.
So what do you see when you look at this? This is the Qatari stadium built for the World Cup, like a year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. What do you see
how
when
many
you look
people?
at that?
10,000 deaths.
Okay. That too.
Because 10,000 people died building that.
I don't think 10,000 people died.
You want, dude? Double check me. AI that motherfucker. How many people died building the Qatari stadium?
Okay, I'll do but what do you see when you look at that?
I mean, it was a masterpiece, but at
What do you see, Jacob? Is vagina? What do you see?
Exactly, a vagina. Thank you. Yes, a vagina. Look at it. It's a very exciting one. Hold on, I'm gonna use ChatGPT. How many?
It is estimated that over 5,000 people died constructing the Qatari sports facility, which now currently resembles that of a giant labia.
The Big Beautiful Bill contains a provision banning state and local governments from regulating AI. It would make it easier for corporations to get zoning variances so massive AI data centers could be built in close proximity to residential areas.
6,500. Wow, that's a lot. Not 10,000. 6,500.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
Guess where they got?
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. I just did key facts.
That's the reported deaths.
Yeah, this is from 2021 Guardian, that's British newspaper. Investigation, they said between 2010 and 2020, so a 10-year period, 6,500 migrant workers from India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka reportedly died.
That they could confirm.
Yeah, well, yeah. What do you think? It was the heat, or they fell, bad working conditions? What do you think?
A little bit of all of it.
Right.
Like it wasn't the best work.
This is funny. So that's the Guardian. Guess what the Qatari government, the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, in charge of stadium construction, reported? How many deaths do you think they reported?
500.
3.
Bitch, please, got me fucked up.
So it's some number between 3 and 6,500.
What? Dude, come on.
Hey, have you ever seen that great actor who everyone imitates? Oh my god.
Adam Sandler?
No, older guy, Christopher Walken. He's in a bar. He's an older guy in this movie. I can't remember what. He says, "I'll bet you $400 that I can do between 300 and 400 push-ups." Younger guy is like, "I'll take that money." And all these people.
Oh, he gets down, does 4 push-ups.
And he goes, "I won." He goes, "No, you didn't. You said between 300 and 400." He goes, "Well, 4 is between 300 and 400." And the whole bar went. Everyone. You gotta be careful. You gotta listen to the words before you take a bet.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way about dating women.
You date?
I mean, kinda.
Were you ever married?
No.
That's not one.
It's not like I didn't want to.
Yes. This is
That's a different question.
the leader of Universal Medicine, a controversial group.
It never came around. I never found the one. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna marry a hoe and try to turn her over my house.
He's the chosen one of God, the latest in the You
feel
said
like
it
you need
was the
violence.
policy of starvation. Did you hear that? You did.
I'm concerned about that because you have a shit ton of guns up, and you have more. What's your bullet to gun ratio? Say it's 10,000 to 1, 5,000 to 1.
Let's just say I've got 30,000 rounds and an arsenal.
Okay, how many? Just rough estimate of guns.
Well, I don't have to disclose that.
No, I know. I'm just trying to figure out the ratio. Just make it up. I'm gonna assume you have 25 weapons.
Let's say somewhere between 3 and 400.
300 and 400 or 3 and 400?
Yes.
Yes to which answer? Is it yes to between 300
What in the Socratic method are you on? Why do you keep asking me all these fucking
Because you
questions? Like,
answer.
you sound like Epictetus, like trying to get my...
Because I asked you a two-part question, A or B, and you said yes. So I'm saying, is it yes to A or yes to B?
Well, you figure it out.
I can't because your answer was vague.
Well, that's kind of the, principle of it. Hey, Mike?
Okay, so I'll put you down for 200. So we cut it down. So that's 150 to 1. That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, I might have had that many at one point, but I had a boating accident. Some of them fell in a river.
How do you carry around that many guns on a boat? Don't you need like 2, a shotgun and a handgun? Maybe a long gun too. Maybe a 3.
Dude, the problem is I was drinking that day. I'm not quite sure where I was on the river when I had that boating accident.
Do you have a dock? Dock? Do you have a okay. On your property?
No, but they call me a dick dog.
That's TikTok. I think they renamed it. It's still TikTok.
No, I'm a doc with a dick.
My friend is a urologist. He calls himself a TikTok.
Okay, this has been Conversations.
What?
So this has been Conversations.
Oh, this is great. This is Class A content. What are the Golden Dawn tapes?
It's Israel Regardia.
Oh, wow. What is that?
It's Kabbalah.
Oh. So it was like some Operation Golden Dawn. It was like the tapes of soldiers going into combat.
No, it's all about psychology.
Israel is so weak about what they're doing. Like, I guarantee you, if you gave me and 45 of my guys, the second cav, a 5-mile wide by 26-mile long piece of land, we'd have walked through that bitch. We'd have had that motherfucker done.
They would turn it into glass.
We'd have had that motherfucker done in a week. Like, I don't know why they've been, like,
kill 150,000 people.
No, that's not how it works.
I understand that,
But you're talking, like, do you know how Fallujah worked? Really? But how did it work?
Going with the Marines.
Yeah, 1st Marine Corps Division, 25th Infantry, U.S. Army. They encompassed the whole thing. And they flew...
Get out, and they didn't, and then they went in.
Well, they said, we don't give a fuck if you're big, tall, fat, small, old, skinny, or whatever the fuck. Get the fuck out. If you're here after 3 days, you're an enemy combatant. And, like, 85% of the city left. Yeah, then we went, for the rest of the 15. We went street by street.
Did you guys go outward in, like you met in the middle? Or did you go like a line north to south, east to west, like which way? 3 different options.
jumping into a wadi? What are we doing?
No, I'm talking about influential. The actual thing. Did it go different division or different groups?
It was more of a it was a circular kind of like setup where everybody pushed from the outside into the middle.
Yeah, like you could do that.
And we cleared it street by street. That way we always had we knew the enemy was always in front of us and everything behind us was clear. And we just controlled all the ground behind us.
How many personnel did U.S. on their side?
In that one specific battle?
Yeah, were there two battles?
No, there were two Slaughter City battles.
Yeah,
There was only one. Slaughter did like Fallujah. They got their ass handed to them and they didn't want no more. Same year as Fallujah was the first battle of Slaughter City.
Yakov, what are you doing today?
Yeah, I was right. There were two major battles in Fallujah. One in 2004, and the other April of 2004, and then November, December 2004. Operation Phantom Fury was the second one. Operation
But we were still there. It was still the same battle. They just uprose again. It's still the same battle.
I don't know because or whatever.
Oh my gosh! Can you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand that, but there were literally two different battles, according to. I'm looking at the U.S. Army website.
You're not understanding what you're reading.
Okay, I have comprehension skill problems.
It was still 1st Marine Corps Division and 25th Infantry. They still controlled the ground.
I got it.
Then what did I mean then?
It was a flare-up, and they were still the same group fighting the same battle. You're combining the two into one.
Yeah, it was still OIF 4. Operation Iraqi Freedom 4. That was what it was.
Look at this one. It's a lot of red.
by holding. It holds all your contradictions. It holds your shame and your beauty, your strength and your sorrow, your longing and your fear. It does not judge. It simply absorbs. It reflects back not your image, but your being. And for the first time, you begin to feel what has always been there. An unmovable, unchangeable awareness that is untouched by time or story. This awareness is not personal. It does not belong to you. It is not yours. It is you. And once you've touched that silence, once you've been held by it, you know something that cannot be forgotten. That everything you've ever searched for was never outside you. It was buried beneath the noise you clung to in fear. But the void is not a place to live forever. It is a crossing, a doorway, a sacred gate through which all seekers must pass. And what lies beyond it is not more silence, but presence. Life. Real life. Not the life of compulsions and roles, but the life that moves through all things with clarity and grace. The void clears the field. It breaks the old shell, and from that brokenness something new begins to stir. Not as an idea, but as a living experience. You wake up, you open your eyes, not outwardly, but inwardly, and what you see is not form or shape, but now you see presence. But before we speak of presence, we must honor this place we now stand in. We must give thanks for the unmaking, for the terrifying silence that stripped us of our false selves, because without it, we would never have remembered who we are. The void does not destroy, it reveals, and what it reveals is a mystery beyond thought, beyond language. You cannot speak it, you can only become it, and when you do, when you emerge from that sacred dark with no name and no map, you do not return as who you were. You return as awareness itself. So breathe. Let what was die. Let what was false be buried. Feel the weight of silence not as a burden, but as a blessing. Let the stillness fill you, not to numb, but to open. Let it open the space where the next truth can rise. And when it does, you will not need to understand it. You will feel it. In your breath, in your heartbeat, in your feet on the ground, you will feel that something has shifted, not because something was added, but because something false has fallen away. And now, from this silence, from this sacred void, we take our next step, not back into the world of distraction, but forward into the light of presence, into the quiet miracle of being fully here. When the void has emptied you, when the illusions have been peeled away, what remains is not a blankness, but a silence saturated with presence. Not the presence of a deity above you, or a truth outside of you, but the presence that arises from within, soft, unshakable, alive. You don't step into this presence with fanfare or revelation. You simply become aware that it has been here all along, waiting. And in that moment of awareness, something deep shifts. The world does not change, but the way you see it does. Your breath slows, not because someone told you to meditate, but because your body finally remembers it is safe. Your eyes begin to notice the light resting on ordinary things. A leaf, a hand, a cup of water. Time no longer feels like something to outrun. You are here, and here is enough. This is the beginning of the inner journey. Not the dramatic ascent to enlightenment as often portrayed, but the subtle, quiet movement toward total intimacy with life. Rumi described it with devastating simplicity. And you? When will you begin that long journey into yourself? These words are not a challenge. They are an invitation. The journey is not about going somewhere new. It's about returning to where you've always been, but with new eyes. And what those eyes begin to see is not mystical or strange. It is profoundly human. You start to notice how many times you betray your own truth in a single day. How often you leave the present moment to revisit the past surprises, how easily joy slips by unnoticed, how deeply you long to be seen, even by yourself. But presence is not just about noticing what is around you. It is about becoming aware of the one who is aware. It is turning your gaze inward, not to think more, but to see more clearly. To recognize that beneath every thought, every feeling, every role you play, there is something that does not move, something that does not change. This something is not a thing at all. It is the quiet watcher, the unnameable I am, the space in which all things arise and dissolve. Once you become aware of that space, your entire life becomes a meditation. Washing dishes becomes a sacred act. Speaking becomes an expression of presence. Silence becomes companionship. Rumi danced on the edge of this awareness, not as a concept, but as a lived reality. His whirling was not performance, it was surrender, a dissolving of the self into the now. He did not seek to escape the world, he spun deeper into it, until the boundaries between inner and outer, self and other, melted like mist in sunlight. And that is what presence does. It dissolves the imagined borders. You no longer see yourself as separate from what you observe. You are not in the world. You are of it. The tree is not over there, and you over here. There is only experience unfolding, and in that unfolding, a quiet ecstasy. This presence does not ask for rituals. It does not need dogma. It asks only one thing: your attention. Attention. Not the narrow attention of control or analysis, but the soft attention of love. The kind of attention you would give to a child learning to walk. Gentle, patient, without demand. When you give your life that kind of attention, it begins to speak. Not in words, but in feelings, in signs, in the subtle movements of intuition. The universe becomes less of a machine and more of a mirror, reflecting not your desires, but your essence. And you begin to walk not with plans, but with presence. You begin to live as a response, not a reaction. But this journey is not without its challenges. Presence reveals everything, especially the parts of you you've hidden. The inner journey is not always a path of light. It will take you through sorrow, anger, envy, emptiness. But presence holds it all. It does not reject, it does not fix, it simply sees, and in being seen, the pain begins to transform, not through force, but through recognition. You begin to realize that your emotions are not obstacles, but messengers, and your discomfort is not a sign of failure, but an invitation to return. Every trigger, lonely? Can you sit with the ache in your chest without reaching for a distraction? Can you listen to your thoughts without believing every one of them? This is the fire of presence, and it refines you. Slowly, lovingly, you burn, not into ashes, but into truth, into clarity, into authenticity, until what remains is no longer the image of who you thought you were, but the living truth of who you are. And here, you begin to notice something even deeper. As you sit in presence, as you open to what is, there is a warmth, a subtle hum beneath the silence, a current moving through all things. It's not an idea, it's not a philosophy, it's a felt sense, a presence within the presence, and it feels like love, not the romantic love that comes and goes, not the conditional love that demands or withholds, but a love that simply is. Rumi called it the beloved, and he saw it in everything. The sunlight through leaves, the grief in a mother's voice, the tears of longing that fall silently at night. The beloved was not separate from life. It was life itself, unveiled. This love is not something you achieve, it is what you uncover. It does not arrive with thunder or light. It arrives in the moment you stop looking for it. It appears when the seeker dissolves and only presence remains. It is found not in grasping, but in surrender, and you will know it not because it tells you its name, but because it feels like home. A return, a remembering, a soft, wordless yet, and so the inner journey that began in solitude, that passed through the fire of the void that opened the door to presence, now begins to blossom into love. Not a concept, not a goal, but a quiet realization that you were never alone, that behind the silence, beneath the presence, within the breath, something has always been waiting, watching, holding, loving. This is the beloved, and now we turn toward it. Now we open the final door. Now we begin to remember divine love. Love, that quiet, ancient pulse beneath all things. It has no voice, yet it speaks in every language. It has no face, yet it looks out from every pair of eyes. It is not bound by form, yet it lives within every form. This is the love that Rumi devoted his life to, the love he called the beloved. Feels safe, because love, real love, wants only one thing, your truth. And your truth cannot be reached through comfort. It must be excavated, uncovered, revealed. And so the beloved begins to move through your life, not always with caresses, but with chisels. Not always with fulfillment, but with longing. Because longing is how love wakes us. Longing is the sacred ache that reminds us we are more than flesh, more than role, more than mind. Longing is the language of the soul, calling itself home. He understood this. His poems were love letters to the invisible, cries of ecstasy, turned into songs. The minute I heard my first love story, he wrote, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. This is the paradox. We think we are searching for God, for peace, for love. But what we are really searching for is the place within ourselves where the beloved already reside, not above, not beyond, but within. And to touch that place, we must stop running. We must
up today.
This is what Ivy League universities you can get into with a 3.6 GPA.
90% of students with a 4.0 plus GPAs get rejected from universities like Harvard, Stanford, and other top 10 universities. Your child needs these 3 key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25 university. And it's not having a good GPA.
You know, love is here, not outside, not in words or gestures, but as presence, as truth, as something so intimate it cannot be named, only felt, only surrendered to. And the more you surrender, the more it grows, not as an experience, but as a state of being. You begin to move through the world differently, not grasping, not defending, but radiating, not needing others to complete you because you have remembered your wholeness, not seeking to be loved because you have become love itself. And in this becoming, life transforms, not because the world changes, but because you no longer resist it, you no longer divide it, you no longer demand it give you what you already carry inside. You become a vessel for the beloved, a mirror in which others can see their own light reflected back. This is not theory, it is the living, breathing truth of your soul, and once it awakens, it will never let you forget. Even when you fall asleep again, even when you doubt, even when you feel lost, the beloved will call you back through dreams, through pain, through beauty, through silence, and each time it will ask the same question: will you love again? Will you open? And if you say yes, something miraculous happens. Life begins to dance with you, not just the joyful parts, but all of it. Sorrow becomes sacred, anger becomes energy, loneliness becomes intimacy. You begin to see the beloved in everything, in the wind that touches your face, in the stranger who smiles, in the ache that refuses to leave. You realize that nothing has ever been separate, that even your suffering was a form of love. Love wearing the mask of pain to lead you back to yourself. Rumi saw the face of the beloved in everything, because he had become nothing. He had emptied himself so completely that only love remained. This is the invitation, not to become someone greater, but to become no one at all. To be so present, so surrendered, that you become transparent to the light. You no longer need to prove, to defend, to compare. You exist as an offering, and that offering is love. But even now, in the depths of divine remembrance, the journey is not over, because love, once awakened, does not settle. It expands, it flows outward. It longs to be shared, expressed, embodied. Divine love is not content to stay hidden in meditation rooms and sacred texts. It wants to live in your words, your hands, your gaze. It wants to be given to the world, not through grand gestures, but through presence, through patience, through listening, through showing up again and again with an open heart, even when it hurts. And so we arrive here, not at the end, but at the beginning of living love, the beginning of walking through the world as a flame that does not burn but warms, as a silence that does not isolate but heals, as a presence that says to everyone you meet, you are not alone, you are not broken, you are love, you are love. And from here the only step left is integration, to carry this love back into the world, to let the journey inward become a life lived outward, to take the presence you've found and make it your way of being. And so we close this circle, but not with an end, with a return, a remembering, a quiet devotion to live not from the mind, but from the heart. Now we step forward into reflection, into stillness, into the mystery of the final breath. Now we return, not to where we started, but to where we always were, only now with open eyes. You have walked.
My friend, I'm listening to Rumi. Are you ready to do 10 minutes of Toy Run? It's just 10 minutes. I'm about to hop on a hot bath because my foot's all fucked up. I got like a gout infection.
You got gout?
I got the gout.
You got gout.
Fucking drinking, smoking, eating, trying to fuck, but not fucking.
Was the last person you hooked up with that Indian chick?
No, who did I sleep with recently? I was seeing this German chick who moved back to Germany.
Shame.
Yeah, she was good. I mean, I helped her a lot. She like moved out of town. I helped her. You know, she filled my unit below me with her stuff. So she gave me a lot of shit, and in return, I spent.
You filled her stuff below her with your unit.
Yeah. But she moved back to Germany, so Auf Wiedersehen, as they say in the German language.
I got my mom a Chemex.
Just give your mom a reading from the Tanya. It's like the same thing with your nature walk.
I know, but
It's the same thing as your nature walk.
Very materialistic. They need materials.
My dad is not materialistic. When I give him a gift, he says, I don't want that. Take it back. Return it. I'm like, but Dad, I bought it for you as a gift. He goes, I don't want it. I'm like, all right. Then I'll just take it back, whatever you want. I'm not going to get angry over the fact that you don't want a gift. I don't care. I like to say, don't kick a gift horse in the mouth. That's what I can't stand about everybody who hates this fucking airplane thing with Trump. Still talking about it. It's like, oh, he got a fucking free airplane. He's not gonna say no to that. So my friend Max texted me yesterday, like he had this like breakup with this really hot chick, and then today he texted me this photo of this like 5'10", 23-year-old like insanely spicy Latina. And I texted him back, you know, when one door closes, another one opens. So he's like, absolutely, you know, it's true. I think this shit goes in pairs. I think love comes in pairs. Or triplicities. Okay, do you want to hear a Tanya? Oh yeah, this is called Higher Grades of Love. There's a third grade of love, higher still, that all people share. This love is hinted at in the verse, my soul, I desire you at night. About the Zohar says, since you, God, are my true nature in life, I desire you with the intensity of the dying who yet desperately cling to life. There's a fourth grade of love, higher still, that also resides in everyone. This love is like a child whose love for her parents surpasses her love of self and who acts for their sake alone. Since we all have one Father, we all have this love hidden deep within. Anyone can access this love. It is not beyond reach, nor is it far off, but it is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart. All four kinds of love should be cultivated. This is the reason why you were created. How is such love released? Speak to one another in a manner that arouses your heart and mind to yearn for God. For as it is written, a good thought is joined by God to a deed. Isaiah 26:9, grammatically, you refers to soul, but for the Alter Rebbe, God and soul are one. Hence he takes you to refer to God. Oh, look who it is. It's Dr. Anderson, the Jew whisperer. No one is excluded from spiritual awakening. Well, not everyone is ready for the practice of self-emptying or open to the guidance of a spiritual teacher. Everyone has the innate capacity to be transformed through love. How is this done? Through the power of loving speech. Speak in such a manner that promotes harmony rather than discord, peace rather than conflict. Use your words to recognize the unity, embracing all diversity. Since words are linked to thoughts and both are linked to deeds, together forming the three garments of the intellect, habituating your speech to love arouses both mind and heart to love, and together they will align your actions with love as well. You may not be able to directly control your thoughts and feelings, aka you Jew whispering, racist, Northern Irish piece of shit, and your actions may be driven by habits too deep to dispel, but the words that come out of your mouth, these are controllable, T-Robs. Begin with what is in your mouth to arouse what is in your heart and mind. And in time, your actions will be in tune with God and godliness. Jazzy came inside earlier and was like, bunch of fucking super predators. Like, project much?
So hateful. Here, wait, so I think this is the one. Are you ready? I'm going to read one.
Go ahead.
It's not literal. This, I think, might be the one that I was referring to the other day, but I'm not sure. But this one is good. It's called Cultivating Humility. Moving through dullness of heart requires you to work with it rather than against it. Working with it, you must be humble before everyone. Being humble, you must not judge others until you stand in their place. There are those whose situation surrounds them with illicit delights and places them in constant temptation. And there are those in whom temptation burns like a flaming fire. You cannot know the fierceness of their struggle to resist temptation. For the inclination toward evil is unique to each of us. Therefore, weigh and examine your own place and measure your own capacity to pass this test. There are those who suffer from dullness of heart. They cannot address their situation directly. They simply cannot rouse themselves to love of God or neighbor. For their dull heart lacks this kind of passion. The temptation of the Timtum Halev, the dull of heart, is to deny how dull your heart is by focusing on the sins of others. The dull of heart rarely sin. They simply lack the energy to do so. Their error is to mistake the absence of temptation as a sign that they have defeated their evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara. They see the struggles of others to resist temptations and imagine themselves to be morally or spiritually superior. Their pride masks their dullness and excuses their lack of spiritual maturation. The Alter Rebbe's antidote to dullness of heart is to cultivate true humility by imagining yourself in the place of those for whom temptation is a serious challenge. In other words, he wants you to use your imagination to set your own evil inclination ablaze. This may sound counterintuitive. Isn't the evil inclination our enemy? No. On the contrary, the evil inclination is the catalyst for returning to God. The desire of the inclination is not for evil, but to arouse your compassion for self and for others by awakening you to the presence of evil. Oh shit, there it is in myself. And the suffering evil causes when it isn't yielded to the inclination for good. Placing yourself in the shoes of others awakens you to your limitations, even as it humbles you in the face of theirs. So even though, Clown House is full of fools, it's not really our place to judge them as fools because we don't know how dull their heart is or how fucking retarded they are. Or they're in the closet and they're afraid to come out of the closet, or who knows. Who knows?
Okay, you ready for another one? I'm gonna open up a taco stand. I'm gonna call it Tanya Tacos. Tanyakos. I did have DaoTaco.com or Taco Dao. I just like that would be. You could just like create anything with the Dao, any kind of brand. See, T-Rob's down there. T-Rob's down there inherited my domain empire.
For now. Sup, John. Sounds like a chainsaw. What, you're saying my voice is fucked up?
Okay, this is called release from bondage. In every generation and every day, you are obligated to regard yourself as if you had that day come out of narrowness. This refers to your release from the illusions of separateness and your absorption into the light of the blessed endless one. Abraham achieved release through his own effort, advancing in holiness by degrees, as is written, and Abram journeyed, going on and on. This is fine for Abraham, but you need not advance through your own effort, for God gifts you with release through Torah. To understand Torah is to realize your oneness with God, and in this way to be released from narrowness. When your desire for unity overwhelms your desire for separation, you are immediately absorbed in God, for spirit evokes spirit. This absorption is your coming out of narrowness. In every generation, the Alter Rebbe adds that every day we are obligated to regard ourselves as if we had that day come out of Mitzrayim. Mishnah Pesachim, Mitzrayim, or Egypt, refers not simply to the historical land of the pharaohs, but is also a Hebrew pun on the word zarim, which means narrow places. Egypt represents those places in which you find yourself enslaved to false gods, ideas, harmful emotions, and hurtful behavior. Most systems of spiritual growth take the Abrahamic approach, encouraging you to free yourself from Mitzrayim step by step. But the Alter Rebbe is offering a different view. You are already free. You just don't realize it. Today, this very moment, you are one with God. Today, this very moment, you can achieve da'at devakut, the realization of this oneness. There is nothing you have to do except to stop insisting that things are other than they are. You are like a person dying of thirst who sits next to a tall glass of cool, fresh water. So convinced are you that there is no water, you completely ignore the reality right in front of you. You don't have to ask for water or fetch it yourself. All you have to do is stop ignoring the water that is offered and drink. And when you drink, your thirst is gone immediately. It is the same with God's oneness. As soon as you realize the presence of God in and as all things, including yourself, your sense of separation and the anxiety it produces are gone. This is what Tanya calls spirit evoking spirit. For you realize you are God calling to God. See, T-Rob's down there, he always thought he was just a fucking potato farmer. Turns out that he's a holy potato farmer. His family is not just a legacy of potato snitches. They created the potato. They eat the potato. They are a potato. And this is a Torah lesson. We're meditating here. My friend, did you want to read another one?
Do you think that guy was referring to my voice sounding like a chainsaw? It is kind of scratchy, but I don't think it sounds that bad.
No.
Alright, this is called the task of self. For the matter is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. From Deuteronomy. What is the meaning of do it? Why does God manifest the physical world and clothe the ego in the shell of self? The self is a holy flame. The body is the wick, keeping the self grounded in this world. The heart is the oil that saturates the wick and feeds the flame. Acts of kindness are the light that self brings to the world. This is the it you consist of all the worlds and the one most in need of illumination. Just as a windowless room can only be illumined from within, so this physical world of action must be illumined from within. You are the vehicle for that illumination, and you accomplish it by doing masim tauvim, selfless acts of loving kindness.
So, I mean, selfless acts of loving kindness is, loving your neighbor as you love yourself, or doing no harm to your neighbor. I think, what is that saying by Hillel? It's like, somebody comes up to Hillel and says, teach me the Torah on one foot. So he says, do no hate unto others as, you really don't hate them unto yourself. The rest is commentary. So, I don't know. People like T-Rob's down there. Lebanite, Arab, Ann. I mean, everybody's doing racial identity politics. They haven't transcended race consciousness, egoic consciousness, or, I don't know. They're just. I like Tanya. To me, it's a good program. And welcome to the house of Jah. No.
Hello.
What are you doing today?
Trying to get a job. It's been very hard to get a job nowadays. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, I'm trying, working on getting a job. Trying. Because the mortgage industry is not booming right now, so I was laid off. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing today?
I'm asking you what you're doing today.
I just told you.
I know, that's what I just did today.
What? We're looking for a job?
No, I was asking you what you're gonna do today. I'm not saying that's my job to ask you what you're doing today.
It could be. It could be. That sounded very peaceful, and I came in right at the right time. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to succeed in getting an offer, you have to essentially go to the meeting. It's just like going on a date. It's either you come with love in your heart and goodwill to work towards that person and organization's goals, or you come and bring, your loud jazzy hands, and they run for the hills and they say, good luck to you. We'll call you, don't call us. And that's why Dr. T-Rob's down there sleeps with a dog and is a lonely webmaster scrounging and cleaning the gutters of Clown House with Jew Whisper hate. That's the kind of love T-Rob's has in his heart. Have you ever heard T-Rob's tell you about a girl he took out on a date and was a gentleman with? I never heard that story. Have you?
I don't think so, but no, I personally haven't, but that doesn't mean he hasn't.
That's true. We don't really know. No one really
remember Randy saying anything that was not reversing the Bible.
Randy McDickerson?
Yeah, the rabbi.
He's a real class act.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, there's nothing like losing your life listening to morons on the internet talk all day long.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand things that don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. You know what, John? You're doing a great job letting everyone know that they're wasting their time. Thank you, you know? Your shtick since day one, you're like, you're wasting your time. And then they waste their time and they're like, you know what, fuck John. What did John know?
Well, it's like, you know, when you watch Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm or any television show, you realize that, like, Clown House is no different. It's your choice if you want to waste your time like this. So it is like a show about nothing. And, you know, I try to mix in a lot of philosophy, psychology to essentially balance it out, because I think this place is like hell, and most people want to draw you down into their hellfire. So this is what it is. You know, you have to be the maker of your destiny. And the best way to make your destiny is with words, because the Bible says, you know, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word manifested. So, you know, you are your words. That's my opinion. That's why I read books. Like I tried to get Mike Moon down there to start reading a book, creating an audiobook, you know, but never heard him do it. Never heard anybody do it. Only my friend here is the only person I've ever heard read a book on here.
Oh, that's not true. Me and Alec took it up on one time. It was really long. We did it in parts.
I never heard you do it. I just hear you talk all the time.
We didn't have any viewers, but that wasn't the point.
I just hear you talk all the time.
Well, I'm a Christian, white, Lebanese Arab, and what the Jews are doing to my people is completely egregious. It's genocide, live stream.
No, that's not what I said.
I know, I'm just teasing you. I don't know what you said.
And I know.
You said nothing, basically.
I've said a lot, but that's for sure. You're right about that.
It's a waste of time. I mean, if your priorities were your priorities, you wouldn't be here. You know, you're still trying to figure...
No. I mean, there was a point in time where this app was like, you know, when we were in lockdown, there was great things. You know,
really?
And I learned a lot in the beginning.
Really?
But then it came to a point...
Okay, tell us one thing you learned. One important thing. What did you learn?
Well, so I had never been on social audio ever in my life.
What did you learn? What did you learn?
I met Joe Hero.
That's what you learned. Wow. Wow.
Yes, and so because of this platform, I have now...
Let me help you with your priorities, Anne. Let me show you some priorities. Silence is a priority. You know, meeting some guy on a dating app, that's not a priority. I mean, you just said you need a job. Let me help you get that job. Let me help you break the addiction to your dopamine. Let me help you establish your priorities. Sorry, Anne. We're not the dopamine receptacles for your dopamine creation speech. Okay, this is called illuminating the world. The messianic perfection and the resurrection of the dead, which are the revelation of the infinite in the heart of the finite, depend entirely upon you and your spiritual practice. When physically engaged in spiritual practice, the shells of separation are made transparent, and the light of God illumines the darkness of self. You are not here to elevate the spiritual, but to illumine the material. Illumination happens when you eat, drink, and do all you do in a state of holiness. The great illumination comes through generosity, which is called the quintessential practice. Generosity is giving from the fruits of your labor and requires all of your energy. Your entire body gives and uplifts it. This is why generosity hastens redemption. The dead are those living people close to the reality of God in and as all reality. The direct way to revive the dead is to crack the shells, Kelly Pot, and separate them from the whole. The doing of mitzvot, spiritual practices, is designed to shatter that shell of otherness and self-isolation. This is true for the person doing a mitzvah, for anything used in the doing of a mitzvah, and for anyone who receives the benefit of a mitzvah. The task of the in-betweener is not to transcend the physical world, but to live in it as a beacon of light, illuminating the presence of God that is the essence of all things. Talmud Bava Batra says tzedakah involves money earned and money given away. Earning money requires your full engagement in the physical world, body, heart, and mind. Doing so justly and with the intent of helping both self and others engages the soul as well, hallowing everything involved in earning one's livelihood. Giving money away to the poor requires that you surrender ownership of what you have earned, and in so doing erases the shell of separation between the one who gives and those who receive. The engagement of body, heart, mind, and soul, coupled with the breaking of shells of separation, brings us to the brink of full God realization with its complete redemption. No high or low in God. Our sages taught that the world was created as a lower dwelling place for God. Yet do not imagine there is a literal higher and lower in God, for God pervades all reality equally. Higher and lower apply only to your way of perceiving, as it is written, no one can see me and live. To prevent this direct seeing, God veils light in a chain of forms, each link more dense than the one before and culminating in a physical world. Exodus 33:20, seeing God directly annihilates the self completely. Hishtal shalut, chain refers to the flowing of God's energy from world to world, from Adam Kadmon to Asiya, the world of pure spirit to the world of pure matter.